Hi everyone, welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For this practice, which is first part Vinyasa Flow, second part Yin and Restorative Yoga, and then ending in 10 minutes of guided meditation, you want to have quite a few props, like 2 blocks, a strap, a pillow, and a blanket. Let's begin in any comfortable seat of your choice. You might even like to sit up on any of your props to allow your thighs to open more easily in front of you if you're sitting in some version of cross-legged. So in these past few days of classes, we've been reviewing the 8 limbs of yoga, and through an angle which is a bit more heart-centered, I guess, written by Nischala Joy Devi, is this book, The Secret Power of Yoga. And it's actually the book club that our community is reading this month and last month. And I love the way she explains why we practice the 8 limbs of yoga and how it's beneficial. It's very brief. She says, through the process of incarnation, our finite bodies must accommodate the vast and infinite ocean of consciousness as it infuses divine qualities into our human life. As human beings, we hope to reflect the higher states of consciousness along with our humanity. The 8-faceted path encourages that integration. And a reminder of the 8-faceted path, or the 8 limbs, as she defines them. The first, the yamas, reflections of our true nature, those 5 practices. The second, niyamas, which are our evolution toward harmony, includes 5 practices. The third, asana, which is comfort in being or posture. The fourth, pranayama, enhancement and guidance of universal prana or energy. The fifth, pratyahara, encouraging the senses to draw within. The sixth, dharana, gathering and focusing of consciousness inward. The seventh, dhyana, continuous inward flow of consciousness. And the 8th, samadhi, union with divine consciousness. Let's integrate as many of these parts of the 8 limbs of yoga into our practice today, beginning with checking in. So as you're resting your body in stillness, find a way that you can sit tall, grounded, and begin to observe the experience in your body, the sensations, how it's feeling. Noting if there is a particular part wanting your special attention today. Bring your awareness to the breath, just as it is, sensing its qualities. And observing your energetic state. Tune into your heart, what feels alive in your heart right now, as well as your mind. What have you been focusing on that is affecting the way you feel? Allow the breath to deepen into your nose. And feel free to sound it out as you exhale to your mouth. Slowing it down. Find a pause at the top of the next inhale, lingering for a few seconds, and slowly empty it again through the mouth. Linger at the bottom, holding it out a few seconds. And then once more, inhaling a little bit deeper. Feel the breath expand in your body. Hold it in at the top and observe that feeling of fullness. Slowly empty it. Hold at the bottom. Feel the contrast. Continue to deepen your breath, and maybe bring your hands to meet at your heart, a gesture of union, which is what yoga is, and a gesture of gratitude. As you recognize any one thing that you appreciate in this moment. And now, what would you like to invite into your experience, into your state of being through your yoga practice today? Clarify your intention. Holding a vision for yourself and practicing a parigraha, which is awareness of abundance that is always surrounding and flowing through you. Also practicing Ishvara Pranidhana, which is devotion to the divine. I invite you to choose someone or community or cause to offer up this practice to today, making a dedication. And together, let's join our voices in support of ourselves and each other by creating resonance, chanting Om 3 times. Inhale down to the pit of your belly. Bowing towards your heart center. Remembering to listen to your body as you practice, using your discernment to choose variations and postures and movements that are most appropriate for you, taking moments to rest if and when you need to. Now I invite you into a breathing technique or pranayama, remember the 4th limb of yoga, that particularly helps to uplift your mood and bring clarity to mind, as well as cleanse the lungs. And it's called bellows breath or Bhastrika Pranayama. Take a moment to place your hands on the left and right walls of your rib cage and invite a deeper inhale where you're equally pressing into each side, filling up your belly, filling up your chest too. So you're using your diaphragm to get the fullness of breath. Close the lips and exhale just as fully. So now we're just breathing through the nose. Continue that to breathe in very fully where you feel that full expansion, especially around the lowest side ribs, the belly. And exhale just as much. We're going to start to create a more brisk rhythm, one that you can sustain. So follow your own rhythm that you can do of inhaling, exhaling as though your lungs and belly were a bellow. Fill with air and let it go. You can keep your hands here, especially if this is new to you. Or you can bring a physical movement into it, get some energy moving. It's a kriya in which you bend your elbows apart to the height of your shoulders relaxed, and you make fists with your hands. As you inhale through the nose, straighten the arms up, spread the fingers wide. And as you exhale through the nose, rebend your elbows and refist your hands. And it might look like this. So I'm gonna watch the clock for 1 minute. Choose how you're going to place your arms. You might close your eyes and just visualize the breath coming in and out to help focus. Let's prepare to start. Empty this breath and begin. 1 minute. Making sure your lips are closed and you're just breathing through the nose. We're halfway through. and relax. Breathe naturally for a moment. Observe how you feel. Especially notice the effect on your mind. I invite you to continue breathing with your lips closed. We're going to start a new pranayama, which is Ujjayi, which means victorious breathing. Softly narrowing the back of your throat and sustaining your breath evenly in and out through your nose. Begin to create a very soft, slow whispering sound. Keeping this rhythm going as much as you can through our vinyasa flow practice, especially. So this Ujjayi pranayama helps to balance your energy so you can exert effort with calm and to focus your attention as you're creating that sound. Let's make our way into downward facing dog. Spreading your fingers flat so that your index fingers are pointing forward or slightly turned out. Wrap your triceps towards the back wall. Draw the shoulder blades down your back ribs. And with your knees a couple inches behind the hips, feet hips distance apart, tuck your toes and lift your hips as high and far back, away from your hands as you can. Then drop your head, shake it out. If you want to loosen the neck, you can start to pedal your feet slowly in place, gently stretching into the backs of your legs. You might even add to that a swiveling of the hips side to side, like you're dancing the twists, opening up the sides of your waist, stretching into your outer hips. Spend a few more breaths, moving any way your body needs to in downward facing dog. Keeping that slow whispering breath going. On your next inhalation, glide forward into the top of a push-up, plank pose. Shoulders right on top of the wrists. Look on the floor just ahead of your thumbs and either lower your knees on the ground right under the hips for additional support or keep the legs actively straight where you're firming your inner heels back. Lift the sides of your belly. Now very slowly as you exhale, glide forward. Bend your elbows back to hug your side ribs, passing through Chaturanga Dandasana. Come all the way down. With the heels of your palms alongside your floating ribs, root down to the tops of your feet. And inhale to a light cobra. Roll the shoulder heads behind you. Gently lift the chest forward. Look down ahead. Exhale, release down. 2 more times. Press down through all your toenails. Inhale, roll the shoulder heads back. Draw your sternum forward. Stretch your inner heels back. Exhale, release. Once more. If you feel ready for upward dog, you can take the hips off the floor, ground the tops of the feet. Inhale into cobra or upward facing. Now contract your abdomen to lift your tailbone up and back to downward facing dog. Let's walk up to the front of the mat. Standing forward fold. Press your fingertips either on to your legs, blocks in front of your feet, or the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, drawing your shoulders back. Keep shifting your weight forward as you exhale to fold over your legs. Press down to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward. Find a gentle back bend where you lightly coil your chest up. Exhale, join your hands together from your crown to your heart center. Let's flow through sun salutation, C a couple of times to help warm up. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead and gaze up. Exhale, bow over your legs. Plant your fingertips on the ground. Inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and gaze up. Holding your breath, step into plank pose. Then exhale, let's take it through Chaturanga. Glide forward, bend the elbows back. Then inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee and gaze up. Exhale, step the right foot forward and bow. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead. Exhale, join your hands in Padasana. Once more on the second side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, plant the fingertips down, step right knee back, kneeling lunge or Anjaneyasana. Hold your breath as you step to plank. Exhale, glide forward, lower through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee, gaze up. Exhale, step left foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead and coil your chest up. Exhale, join your hands to meet at your heart. Sun Salutation B. Let's get everything moving. Bring the inner edges of your big toes to touch, preparing for chair pose. Empty this breath. Inhale, bend your knees together to touch. Lean back towards your heels and raise your arms in chair pose. Exhale, shift forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Press down with your hands, inhale, lengthen forward. Step into your plank pose or lightly jump into Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue through your vinyasa, entering Cobra or Upward Dog. Then back to Downward Facing. Let's keep going. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, step it lightly forward beside your right thumb and spin your left heel down. Facing forward, inhale, rise into Warrior One. Exhale, lower into plank and take it to your vinyasa. Second side from Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale the foot forward beside your left thumb. Spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise to Warrior One. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. This time, let's pause in Downward Facing Dog for 3 deep breaths. Slowing down your breathing and rebalancing it in and out as you steady your gaze. When you finish your third exhalation, with breath held out, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. With feet together, inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. With knees together, inhale, sit low again in chair or Utkatasana. Exhale to rise up. This time, separate your feet hips width apart. Bring the hands behind you to clasp and roll your shoulders down as you inhale to gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Just a few breaths here. Let the head hang freely. Stretch the arms away from your lower back as you're opening the fronts of your shoulders. Smoothing out your Ujjayi breath. Let's step back to Downward Facing Dog from here. From Downward Dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee and turn out your thigh at the hip. Staying there, inhale, tack your left outer hip back. And as you exhale, cross the knee to tap your left elbow, coming forward to plank pose. Inhale back to 3-legged Downward Facing, this time squaring your hips. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and round your back in plank pose. Inhale back to 3-legged dog. This time, exhale, hug the right knee outside your right shoulder and softly step the foot forward beside your right pinky finger. Come into a kneeling lunge or a high lunge in this lizard pose. We're gonna flow here, so feel free to place your hands on blocks, and that allows your shoulders to relax. Inhale, keep the back toes tucked, sink your hips, gaze up. Exhale, keep your feet where they are and begin to straighten your legs and bow towards the inside of your right leg, scissoring your right hip back. 2 more times. Inhale, back to your version of your lizard lunge. Exhale into a wide pyramid pose. Last one. Inhale, lizard lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Now come back to a lunge. Step the right foot front and center between your hands. Spin the back heel down and cartwheel your arms to rise up. Then straighten your legs for triangle. Glide your pelvis sideways towards your rear wall as you reach your right hand far towards the horizon. Placing the right hand just to the right side of your right shin on a block of the floor, keep wrapping your right outer hip under you as you tack the crease of your right hip back towards your left outer foot. Spiraling your chest towards the sky. Steady your gaze on one spot for another 3 to 5 breaths in Trikonasana. Sweep your left hand to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Pause for a full cycle of breath. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the knee and turn out your left thigh at the hip. Stay here as you inhale, tacking the right hip back. Exhale, cross your left knee to tap your right elbow forward in plank pose. Inhale your left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose, rounding in plank pose. Inhale back. Exhale, hug the left knee outside your left shoulder and step the foot lightly beside your left pinky finger. Either lower the right knee or stay high in the ball of your foot in this lizard lunge. Feel free to place blocks under your hands. Inhale, sinking your hips, gaze up. Keep your feet where they are and exhale to pyramid pose by straightening both legs to whatever degree is comfortable. Scissor the left hip back and bow. 2 more. Inhale back to your lizard lunge. Exhale, wide pyramid pose. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, pyramid. Come back to your lunge. Now step the left foot between your hands at center and drop the right heel, aligning heel to arch. Cartwheel your arms and then straighten your legs for triangle. Glide your hips sideways towards your rear wall. Reach your torso towards the front wall and place the left hand just to the left side of your left leg. Feel free to use a block. Rolling the left hip under, tack the crease of it back as you lengthen your crown forward and spiral your chest slightly to face the sky. 3 to 5 more breaths, steadying your gaze. Sweep the top arm overhead. Come all the way down to plank pose, and from plank, glide way forward and very slowly lower from Chaturanga Dandasana to the ground. Rest your forehead on the floor and slide your knees close together as we prepare for 2 rounds of bow pose, Dhanurasana. Great for stimulating digestion too. So bend your knees, catch your outer or inner feet with your hands. Press your pubic bone into the ground and kicking your feet away, pull them towards you, lifting your knees high off the floor, no wider than your hips width apart. Coil your chest up and slide the shoulder blades down your back as you gaze forward. Stay for your count of 4 to 7 more breaths here before letting go to rest. When you've let it go, relax and be still for 3 breaths, sensing your body. Last round of bow. Slide your knees close together, bend them. Maybe you catch the opposite sides of your feet to change it up. To you. Kick your feet away and lift. 5 to 10 breaths. You might opt to rock forward and back, a little more stimulation for the belly region. You could roll all the way over to one outer hip, opening up the inner shoulder more deeply, and then off to the other side, your choice. When you've let it go, this time you might make a pillow out of your forearms to rest your forehead and help to loosen your lower back if it needs it by windshield wiping your shins side to side. Again, 3 breaths. We have 2 last active back bends to go. Plant your hands beside your floating ribs and press up to tabletop to come up to stand on your knees for camel pose. Practicing 2 rounds of camel pose. So let's start the first one with additional support for your lower back by using a block, hugging the skinniest width of it firmly between your knees and thighs, while you're slightly spiraling your inner thighs towards the wall behind you. Tuck your toes so your heels are high and feel more stable. Backstroke your arms to prepare, placing your hands on your lower back, fingertips pointing down. Use your hands to help you press your hips forward gently, keeping your pelvis right above your knees, the whole posture, and to encourage your tailbone to actively lengthen downward towards the floor right between your knees, so that you are lengthening your lower back, even lifting the back ribs, while focusing on bending the back, mostly right under your shoulder blades. Let's prepare. Inhale, lift your chest. Roll the shoulder heads back, exhaling as you're sliding the shoulder blades down, hug your elbows closer together. Stay for 5 to 7 breaths before you rise up to sit. If it's reachable without strain, especially in the lower back, you could drop one hand to one heel to hold it, and then switch hands, switch heels, or hold both heels. Feel the depth of your in-breaths that these back bends help to increase. When you're ready to come out, find a comfortable way to sit in stillness for 3 breaths, maybe resting your hands towards the middle of your chest, sensing the energy at your heart center. When you're ready, take your last camel pose or Ustrasana for 5 to 10 breaths, whether you choose to use a block or not, or you choose to tuck your toes or go further and press the tops of the feet down. 5 to 10 breaths. I'll meet you sitting and resting. Find a way to sit this time where you can sit a little longer as we will practice a calming pranayama to transition to our yin part. So sitting tall, maybe on a prop if you like, where you can breathe most expansively, naturally. So invite you into a practice of brain balancing and nervous system calming called Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, alternate nostril breathing. So placing your left hand on your lap to rest, you might choose a mudra that cultivates the feeling tone that you're inviting through your intention. So if you're looking for more upliftment or an energizing effect, you can place it in Pran Mudra, which looks like a peace sign, the palm is face up. Or if you're looking for more grounding effect, you can place it in thumb and first finger touching, palm face down. And then the right hand we'll place in Vishnu Mudra, sticking out the thumb, pinky and ring. And as you continue to breathe with your lips closed, this time almost inaudible breathing, very soft, subtle, and gentle, but sustained. We'll use the right thumb to close right nostril and the right ring and pinky to close left nostril. Let's practice 3 cycles of alternate nostril breathing together, and then 3 cycles on your own. You might close your eyes and visualize where you're breathing in and out from, or steady a gaze at one point in your body. Prepare to start by emptying this breath. Hold it out. Right thumb, close right nostril. Inhale left slowly. Hold it in. Close left. Exhale right gently. Hold it out. Inhale right. Hold the breath. Close right. Exhale left. Hold it out. Cycle 2. Inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Close left. Exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Close right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Continue 3 more cycles on your own. Take your time, finishing at your pace. When you do, breathe naturally and pause a moment to observe what you're experiencing. As we move into our yin and restorative practice, feel free to continue breathing naturally, unless you would rather continue with ujjayi breath, hearing the gentle whisper of your breath, if that helps you to focus. So begin to find your pillow and place it down the center line of your mat towards the front edge. We're going to prepare for a restorative spinal twist. that will be in for a few minutes. You might want to have other props within reachable distance in case you'll want to adjust. So have a seat so that your right outer hip is flush against the back edge of that long pillow, and your legs are extended towards your left wall. Then keep your right leg where it is and slide your left leg down the midline of your mat towards your rear wall until you've created an L shape out of your legs. Then plant your hands to frame the left and right sides of the pillow, turning your chest completely to face the front edge of your mat, where you can adjust your pelvis and legs so that's comfortable enough to do. You might bend the knees, you might swivel the right hip slightly back, but still up against the pillow. And then inhale, lift your chest, stretching the front of your torso. Relax the shoulders down. As you continue to breathe, begin to lower your torso onto the pillow, deciding if you might feel more comfortable adding another layer of thickness to that pillow with any of your props, or creating an incline by placing a block under the edge of the pillow that meets the front of your mat, or placing a block for underneath your forehead. If you'd like to lie face down, you might opt to lie with your face facing the left or right walls, but take note of which way you're facing so that you can do the opposite on side 2 of the twist. I'm watching the time now. We'll be here for 3 minutes before we switch sides. So make sure that you've made any last little adjustment to be able to surrender your body as effortlessly onto the props holding it, and relax in stillness. Sensing the breath easily come and go. Sense the bottom of this next exhalation before you begin pressing your hands into the earth. Leave the props as they are and slowly lifting your head, your torso. Eventually rise up to sit with both legs extended towards the rear edge of your mat. Sitting tall for a moment, pausing to observe how your body is responding right now. Feeling the pillow up against the back of your pelvis, slide your left leg to your left side until you've created an L shape out of both legs. And your left outer hip is touching the back edge of the pillow. Then again, frame the left and right sides of the pillow with both hands and turn your chest completely to face the front edge of your mat, inhaling as you lift your heart. And then slowly begin to lower your torso. Now notice if there's a different accommodation this side of your twist is asking of you. And if you were facing left or right on the first side of the twist, make sure you do the opposite here. Make any last little adjustments so that you can comfortably be still and use as little to no effort as possible to be here. 3 minutes. And once again, sense the bottom of the next exhalation before you begin to slowly press your hands into the ground and gently lift your head, your torso, rising up to sit and pause for a moment with your legs extended in front of you. Just feeling your body here now, feeling your breath. You may like to use a strap as we're preparing for Paschimottanasana, a seated forward fold. This combination of spinal twisting, even after some deeper back bends, which we did earlier, followed by a forward fold, is a great combination for promoting all kinds of flow, circulation, digestion. So if you're using a strap as an extension of your arms, place it around the balls of your feet like this with enough slack so that you're able to relax the shoulders and lengthen your neck as you're sitting tall. Otherwise, you might opt to have the hands alongside your hips and walk the hands forward, maybe clasp your big toes with your peace fingers. Flexing your feet, press the insteps forward, a slight internal rotation of the thighs to create support for your lower back. Root your sitting bones down, and as you inhale, lengthen through the back of your skull, broaden your chest. And as you exhale, hinge forward just a little bit, pausing as you inhale to root your pelvis down more deeply as you stretch your spine out through the crown. And then exhale, fold another little bit. And just like that, incrementally with each breath, exploring the range of your forward fold for about 10 breaths in total, where you can relax the shoulders back, create a slight lift in your chest. Empty this next breath fully. Then root down through your hips and begin to lift your chest, inhaling to slowly rise. Sitting upright for a moment, let's gently circle the head, dropping one ear to one shoulder, rolling your chin down across your collarbones. Take your time to do it slowly and easefully. Once you've completed one circle in one direction, take another circle in the opposite direction. Take a block with you and set it off to the side near the rear of your mat. Please come down to your back. Bending your knees, set your feet on the ground wider than your hips distance apart. Separate your knees as wide apart as your feet, then drop your knees both to your right side, aligning your left knee to trace the midline of your mat. This is a stretch mostly for the psoas, the area around the front of your hips and across to your lower back. So notice the left side of your pelvis, how this feels right now. If you're wanting to go deeper in sensation there, cross the right ankle over your left thigh. You might also add raising your arms overhead and catching hold of opposite elbows, dropping the arms back. Let's stay for about 5 more breaths. If your arms are overhead, relax them apart, and let's step the feet on the ground again, wider apart than hips distance. Keep the knees as wide apart and keep your feet on the floor as you drop your knees to your left. Point your right knee down the center line of your mat and pause here to notice whatever sensations you might be feeling around the right side of your pelvis. You might opt to stay right here or add crossing your left ankle above your right knee. And then maybe switch the cross of the elbow on top if you were holding the arms earlier. 5 breaths here. As you uncross your legs, draw your bent knees together into your chest, rocking a little in any direction. to gently massage your lower back on the floor. Set your feet on the ground, about hips width apart. Take your block and lifting your hips, slide the block across underneath your sacrum, which is the flat part of your lower back. Once you feel that block is stably supporting you, lift your legs straight up. You might rest your palms face down on your lower belly as we stay in supported shoulder stand for about 10 breaths. Just inviting the circulatory system to reset. The nervous system to reset. And the digestive system to be stimulated. Gently bend one knee at a time, setting one foot off the ground and then the other. Remove the block from beneath you and one last time draw your bent knees into your chest. This time to give yourself a thank you hug for showing up to your practice. Maybe lift the head and shoulders as you gather in a deep breath. Hold it in at the top. Maybe sip in a little more, squeeze in a little tighter. And then when you're ready, out through the mouth as slowly as you can, stretch your arms and legs to splay out on the earth. Close your eyes and give yourself permission to drop inward. Shavasana. let your body rest in stillness a little longer. As you are noticing how your body feels right now. Gently begin to slowly wake it up. You might start by rubbing your thumbs across your fingertips, and maybe starting to move your hands at your wrists. And just like that, little by little, ease into a stretch. Gradually turn over onto your right side and rest your head. Pausing as you recognize your energy right now by sensing the breath as it is. Does anything feel different about your energy? Take your time lifting your body up. Again, find a way to sit comfortably where you can feel grounded, alert, and at ease. Practicing meditation for about 10 minutes here. Place your hands in any gesture or mudra that supports the energy of the intention you set at the start of this practice. So might you be able to pinpoint in one word or phrase the feeling tone that you are inviting in to your state of being from the intention that you set. For example, clarity of mind, peace of heart, energized, whatever that might be. Energetic mudra, pran mudra like earlier, grounding mudra like earlier, heart-centered mudra, lotus mudra at the sternum, or more neutral mind, stack the palms face up, center of the lap. Close your eyes or steady a soft gaze on one spot at eye level. And I invite you to start by sensing the breath again. Wherever in your body you can most easily sense the natural breath. Resting your attention there for the next minute or two. Any time that your attention may wander astray, as soon as you recognize it, gently bring your awareness back to the sensations of the breath. Now I offer mantra meditation in which you create your own personal affirmation out of the feeling tone you are inviting through the intention for this practice. You might begin your mantra with the words, I am. Let it be a positive statement that you have no resistance to. If you have resistance to something that is feeling out of reach, then tone it down and use words that you can resonate with. For example, I invite clarity. If you're not feeling full clarity yet, instead of I am clear of mind. Now, having formulated your affirmation as succinctly as you can, to the natural flow of the breath, mentally say your affirmation. For example, inhale, I invite. Exhale, clarity. Repeating your affirmation. As you continue to repeat your affirmation to the rhythm of your natural breath, you might find it helpful to visualize placing that affirmation in a particular part of your body. For example, your heart center, or the area of your root chakra, or towards your pineal gland at the center of your brain. If this resonates with you, Now I invite you to let go of the mantra, sitting in silence again. And as we did at the start of this meditation, resting your awareness on the sensation of the breath, sensing the after effect of your mantra meditation for another minute or two. Notice how you're feeling again at your heart, in your mind. Maybe joining your palms together at your heart, offering appreciation for anything that comes to mind first. And then mentally or out loud, restate your intention you set for this practice. Remember to whom or what you dedicated this practice. Let's close, joining our voices in 3 chants of Om. Inhale deeply. Bow in, mind to heart, recognizing the light within you. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.